Hey, what's up, my friends? Jason Woodland here with Always the Journey TV. Rocking right along here with these awesome interviews. This is interview number 24. I'm ultra excited to have my man Chris on today. We're going to be jumping into that here in just a couple of moments. But I wanted to, again, thank you very much for dedicating your time to watching our show and being able to learn about all these awesome people out in the community. So today's small business shout out are my friends out at Peppercini's restaurant located at 3981 South 700 East over in the Murray area. Today I was able to have a wonderful opportunity of having a social distance lunch with my dear friends Tony and Sophie of Team Reese, Utah. You can also see Tony's interview on episode number 2. These guys are absolutely amazing. Definitely learn about them as well. So today I'm really excited about being able to interview my man, Chris VanGarrett. We met, it feels like we've known each other for years and years, but I think it's under 2 years at this point. Anyway, we just became fast friends. I mean, we talk about marketing, we talk about business, we talk about music and everything in between. So it's a lot of fun, and we're going to be able to dive into some of those things. But Chris VanGarrett is the co-founder and chief marketing officer of VanGarrett Media, a digital marketing and consulting firm with offices in Portland, Oregon, and Salt Lake City, Utah. Often called the General Contractor of Marketing, Chris provides services mostly to small businesses and knowledge workers across the Wasatch Front and the Pacific Northwest. He also serves as a board member at large for the Utah LGBTQ+ Chamber of Commerce. Also, a special shout out to them. He holds emeritus status from the Lenovo Global Sales Team, from which he retired in order to start his own company. They were secretly happy to see him go, he says, and he asked way too many questions for a standard issue corporate drone. That's great. In his spare time, he enjoys cooking, wine pairing, videography, sampling different cannabis strains. He says only in Washington State, but I don't know if I believe him quite on that. And seeking out the perfect plate of beer-battered fish and chips, he says also only in Washington State. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited to bring Chris to the interview and to introduce him to all of you. Chris, what's up, my man?
Dude, how are you, Mr. Woodland?
I'm doing awesome. It's a beautiful day. What's going on?
It's a beautiful day here as well. It's good to see your smiling face, man.
Thank you. It's good to see yours as well. It was a lot of fun the other night. We were able to spend a couple of hours on Zoom just talking about life in general, and that was a real pleasure.
And really with you and I, it's kind of like when you fall down like a Wikipedia rabbit hole, right? It's like you start out researching the War of 1812 and somehow you end up in talking about Friedrich Nietzsche and how it might relate to H.P. Lovecraft. It's a wonderful ride. Anytime you and I have an in-depth discussion, I love it so much.
Me too. I cherish every single time, man. I appreciate that so much. Mm-hmm. So we've been trying to get you on the show for a little while, and I know you've been creating and building out your office up in Portland, Oregon. So I'm extremely excited. Well, the Portland area. Yep. And I'm way excited about your expansion. You guys are growing with leaps and bounds in 2020. My first question, I want to know what inspired you to get involved with marketing all to begin with? Because I mean, you and I are marketers. We love marketing. We love marketing the right way. Yeah. And there is a right way to do it. And there's definitely a lot of wrong ways to do it as well. But I want to know what inspired you to get involved with marketing and what inspired you to start and co-found VanGarrett Media.
Beautiful questions. Thank you. And thank you for having me on, Jason. It's really a pleasure. The main thing that attracted me to marketing was the fact that most marketing sucks. And you think about the marketing campaigns in like the 70s, 80s, and 90s that literally everyone remembers, even people who weren't alive during those times. The Coca-Cola, I like to teach the world to sing. There's a few others that were started in that time. Those things stuck into the pop culture, into the maw of the pop culture so well that they are transgenerational. They're things that everybody knows, right? Or theme songs or jingles or, whatever. But most marketing is really crappy. Like you see a pharmaceutical commercial for some sort of new medication for asthma or what have you. It's almost like I've talked to my spouse about this, the co-founder of VanGarrett Media. It's almost like aliens are watching humanity from like top down, and they're guessing that maybe this is what they're really like, and then they produce a commercial to kind of illustrate what they know, but is also incredibly lacking as to what human culture really is truly like, right?
Yeah.
So it's an exercise in comedy to watch pharmaceutical commercials and to watch other commercials that just don't really resonate with people. And so what I wanted to do, because I've been a communicator all of my life, and I've been trying to bring people together under a single banner or under a unified idea, all throughout my life, I wanted to come up with a way to begin talking to people in a way that resonated with more than just one kind of person. So, back with my career with Lenovo, I was the person they would bring into the discussions because I could make the technical understood by the layperson, and really bridge the gap between those two. And everybody understood and everybody loved each other, and we all went home happy and closed lots of deals, right? So I took that desire to want to bring people together under a unified idea and created my own company with it.
Nice. I love that. There's so many different facets to the concept of marketing. It's like, where do you even start? Because when you talk to someone, you say, because one of my bachelor's degrees is in marketing, but what does that mean to your average person? Because the catch is people think that sales and marketing are the same exact concept and the same function, and so I think it's important to extrapolate the difference there, and then what it is that marketing can do for people and why it's so important. So tell me a little bit more specifically about your business. Like, what is it that you do within the business itself?
So we try to take the marketing tactics that are employed by enterprise level organizations and apply them, downscale them to knowledge workers and small businesses. So we look at a small business the same way the IRS does. So if you got fewer than 500 employees, you're my people, right? Because above and beyond that, you can pay a marketer or somebody in-house to really handle what you're doing. I wanted to take everything that I learned in working for large corporations and the psychology behind putting a person's name or a person's product or a person's brand in front of as many human beings as possible in as many different ways as possible, usually digitally. But take that from the huge scale of a company like Lenovo or Dell and bring it down to a small scale company of smaller than certainly the employee count they have there. So I wanted to take something huge, scale it down, make it accessible to the general public.
Okay, awesome. So let's talk more specifically about your services within your marketing company. So if someone were to give you a call and say, I need help marketing, what is it that you and Shayla do? By the way, shout out to Shayla. She's awesome.
She is fantastic. She's the glue that holds everything together here.
Awesome.
So we had a client call us, and this was great. I use this in my marketing now. We had a client refer to us as the General Contractor of Marketing. And that's really what we are. So what I do is I bring together, I'm Nick Fury, right? I bring together a diverse group of remarkable people to apply to a problem. So let's say that you have a new business, maybe they do wood cutting, maybe the guy's a carpenter or the woman's a carpenter, whoever, right? We're speaking hypotheticals. I want to bring out a person that can do branding, that can do logo design, that can do copywriting. And then I want to bring in somebody that also does social media management and that can do Google AdWords and AdSense. And I want to bring in somebody that can kind of do videography. Usually that's me. So we can begin creating different video sets of the work of this individual. And then Shayla usually acts as the project manager, where we bring in everything under one banner and start deploying everything. So if the videos are going to go on social, here's the plan to do it. Here's the branding and the motion graphics for the beginning and end of the videos. Here's how the look and feel of a Twitter page is supposed to rock, or here's a Facebook page or whatever. And then setting up different posting schedules, and we're going to be engaging with different audiences on this day at this time, and really just deploying everything to where it's a nice, simple heartbeat going out to the public, with the intention, of course, of growing that person's business by getting them in front of people who really want their products.
Nice. Okay. So to a certain extent, you're a one-stop shop. Is that what I'm understanding?
You got it. Yeah, we don't do everything in-house because we're only two people and, there's only so many hours in a day. But we have partners that will handle everything from social media management to SEO to website building to branding to anything that has to do with communicating a message or an idea.
Okay, perfect.
Mhm.
So in essence, then, if someone came to you and they say, "I've got a startup business. Here's my idea. Here's my concept," you can build their logo. You can build their website. You can build out landing pages if they needed them outside of their website.
Mhm.
You could set up Google AdWords.
Mhm.
Do you do sales funnels and all that kind of stuff?
We do. Yeah, we've got people to
Okay,
do that.
perfect. So D, all the above.
All the above, yeah. And
Okay.
then we'll also work with other marketers. So say that maybe you've got a great marketer that handles the bottom of the funnel, right? Where you've
Mhm.
already got somebody who is maybe looking for a particular service. They're going to different websites. You need someone that's going to understand the psychology of that website, where that person's going to click and why, and where they're going to spend the most time, and you want them to ultimately take action on it.
Yeah.
Maybe they handle the bottom of the funnel really well, but they suck at handling the top of the funnel. That's where we can come in and feed people into that wonderful website and have that SEO experience that they've already built. And we just kind of handle all the leads coming into
Okay, cool. And
it.
then that also goes for if someone just wanted you to come and manage their, let's say, their Facebook business feed or something.
Mhm.
You can handle all those types of things. So let me ask you this: is there such thing as a job that's too small, and is there such thing as a job that's too big for you guys?
No, I would say there's such thing as an organization that's too big, though.
Okay.
I would like medium-sized organizations, anything above 500 employees. They generally have people in-house that they pay to do these things. So I like to focus on the small businesses and knowledge workers, primarily because they just don't have the money to pay somebody full time. But if we can still give them that experience of what it's like to have that level of attention to their marketing, everybody wins.
Nice.
Mhm.
So without talking about pricing, I want to know about, do you guys charge by the job? Like, do you just figure out a package and say this is a lump sum? Do you charge by the month? Like, how does that look for someone watching this?
Good question. It varies is the answer to it. We usually charge by the month if we're on retainer. So you pay for a certain amount of hours per month that we will in turn deploy, to whatever job you want us to do. But we have certain clients that just hire us to come in and do a specific job. Like we'll do videography, excuse me, and we just charge by the job. So you're paying for videography services, you're paying for editing, you're paying for oftentimes motion graphics. If you want music or voiceover laid in there as well, you're paying for all of it under one lump sum. So that way we're not nickel and diming people on every single item. So it varies. It all depends upon what the clients need and what's going to fit their budget the best.
Okay, awesome. And then from what I understand as well, you also help people build their podcasts. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah, it's a great way to market yourself.
Okay. So someone that's watching this, if they said, dang, I want to start a podcast,
Mhm.
are you the person that can sit down with them and say, okay, here is the type of platform we'd recommend. Here's the kind of microphones that would be a good idea for you. Are you planning on just plugging in directly to a computer? Are you going to use a Zoom? Do you want us to take over the recording? You guys can also do post-production work. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. So we can handle anything from just consulting on what equipment to use and how to kind of construct a podcast, what the bones of it looks like,
Mhm.
all the way through a full turnkey solution. So I have a client that we literally they show up. This is we're in the COVID era, so certainly they are not showing up in person, but we show up in Zoom or whatever, and they sit down and they record and they go away and the episode appears on their podcast feed. And we're capable of doing everything from a simple advising you on how to do it yourself and kind of pulling the curtain back and showing you the keys to the kingdom. Or if you just don't have that kind of time, you can hand it to us and we will turnkey it from concept to ship.
Nice. Okay. And also, I just wanted to clarify a little bit as well. You help people on the more sort of the personality marketing concept as well, like the authenticity side of marketing. Is that also correct?
You got it. Yeah. Which is oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes more effective than old school metric based marketing. Um, Personality marketing is basically the marketing of you. You want to be yourself, but you just want to be yourself as loudly and as honestly and as vulnerable as you possibly can, right? So what we'll do, we have a couple of our clients that employ us for personality marketing consultation, and what we do consulting rather, we'll go in and film a video. We'll set them up, film a video. They freak out every time because they're not used to being on video. And we'll film a video and let them talk about themselves and get the marbles out of their mouths, right? To where they're sweating and they're fidgeting and they're playing with things, throwing and all that. And then we basically refine that process and make them feel comfortable with the idea of putting a camera up and speaking honestly and in a cogent way about what they do and why they're good at it. And it's amazing how many people don't know how to do this. I mean, you're not one of them. You are fantastic at this. You're one of the only people I've ever met that does not need VanGarrett Media. You're just phenomenal.
Well, I thank you very much. That's nice of you to say.
Yeah, but no, in all honesty, people on average, we're taught to be modest, and that's good. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, but it does encumber our ability to really talk about ourselves in a meaningful way and what we're good at. And so what we do is just bring down that level of anxiety, show a person really what they can do, and by the end of it, they're putting out videos 3-4 times a week. And sometimes with that sort of organic marketing, they're actually getting leads that they aren't paying for. So there's a zero cost to some of the stuff that they're getting through. People just look at that. They see you being authentic. They see you being real. And they go, oh my God, I have permission. Like, they don't think this logically. This is subconscious. Yeah. This person who I respect and know and love is saying, that's me. I got permission to be me. That's so cool. And so it's instant connection with people, and generally speaking, it leads to more business.
All right. Cool. I like that too, because the catch is, I think that, and of course, there's still a certain segment of the marketing world that is like, sit down, the powder room, the makeup and making sure everything's just perfect and prim and proper and all that kind of stuff, and that you've got your lines all correct. There's been so many times that I've totally dropped the ball on, reading part of someone's bio or mixed up a word or something. Now, of course, today was the first time I had to stop because I swallowed something and I said a bad word. So I'm like, we got to stop this thing. But
that was great.
The thing is that the marketing these days is about, hey, look, like, just be you. And you know what? Will everybody like you? Nope. But will everybody hate you? Nope. Right. You're going to find people that are like, hey, I like that personality type. It's cool. I can jive with it. And I'm going to, and we'll do business, or I'll watch your podcast, or whatever that looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And transfer good mojo. One of my old mentors, Dan Young of PC Laptops, used to say this all the time. You've got to make people feel good. You've got to make people feel not only that you're useful and effective, but you've also just got to make them feel good, right? So one of the challenges I put out to mortgage loan officers and real estate agents, realtors, is when the market, not the market, but when the Federal Reserve changes something about the overnight lending rate, what we call the Fed rate, basically, it has a tangential effect on mortgage rates. It's not direct. Most people think that that's a direct effect. So if we could get a mortgage loan officer or a realtor to go live on Facebook the moment that, like, the New York Times releases that the Fed has done something or the Fed has done nothing to the rate, you begin to build a sense of camaraderie and rapport with people when you can explain to them a complex concept and distill it down to what a layperson can understand. That's personality marketing. That's how you begin to build trust in that sort of thing. So that's a free tip for my realtors out there.
Nice. I love it. So tell me, what geographic locations do you cover?
Wasatch Front. It depends on what the need is, first off. So we cover everything along the Wasatch Front to the entire state of Utah, actually. We also cover the entire state of Washington and Oregon, and that's mostly for videography, places where we actually have to be boots on the ground. So if you want videography services, things that require face-to-face with you, your customers, those are the main geographical locations at this time. We want to eventually move into California, Idaho, Nevada as well, but that's a little ways down the road. We need to kind of get our feet planted here first. But in terms of some of the things that do not require a face-to-face, that don't require us to be in one place, we can handle anything across the entire country. So if you have a need for either local or national SEO services, website building, graphic design, even consultation on how to do things on your own. So if we're doing podcasts and you just want me to teach you how to do it, we can do that all over Zoom or all over some other digital medium where I can just see you and talk to you. So anything that has to do boots on the ground, face to face, Washington, Oregon, Utah, but anything that we can be done over the internet that does not require us to be in the same space at the same time, anywhere in the nation.
Nice. Thank you very much for that. And I'm going to cut out a couple things on my system here. It seemed to slow us down a tiny bit. You still sounded perfect every single step of the way. I disappeared into a little circle for a moment. I look like this. So,
funny.
okay, awesome. So who is your perfect client? So if someone were watching this and they wanted to be a client or they wanted to refer someone to you, what does that person look like?
I've done really well with realtors. Really, really well with realtors. Realtors are wonderful because I was a salesperson for a number of years, and realtors are some of the most well-trained, intelligent salespeople that I've ever met in my life. But like most salespeople, they kind of suck at talking about themselves. They're all about talking about what the product or the client or how they can help and serve and all of that. That's why I love them. But you get them talking about themselves, and 9 out of 10 of them clam up. They're not quite sure how to do it because they're so used to turning the spotlight on other people, right? So I love knowledge workers and realtors, mortgage loan officers, insurance folk, realtors. I've mentioned that like 5 times now. So that's one thing. My other ideal client would be a mom and pop operation that is doing something that they really, really love, but have no time to do any marketing about it because they're too busy doing the thing, right? So florists, for instance, or individuals that do gift baskets. Oh my God, there's such a wonderful market for corporate gifting in this country, where either you're assisting realtors, giving gifts to people who have just bought homes, or developing some kind of small thing that you can kind of mass produce to a degree and then just spit out to as many realtors as possible so they always have something to give to their clients and to potential clients. But again, you need to get the word out about how cool you are, and you just don't have time to do it because you're too busy wrapping beautiful gift bags in cellophane. So anyone that is passionate or really just skilled and really wants to do a thing but doesn't have the time to tell everybody about how neat they are, that's who I want to talk to.
Okay, awesome. And you said that there's no such thing as too small. So even if it was a solopreneur, 2 business owner type thing, it's all good.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's interesting. We've given away some billable hours to people like solopreneurs who just need that little edge, right? They just want 1 or 2 small things to kind of help them figure out what to do. And if you can give that to them and just consider that freemium, guess who they're going to come to once they're actually pulling in the money and they need more assistance.
Yep.
So always be of service to your community in that way.
Awesome. I like that. So let me take a look here. So how do people get a hold of you?
Best way to do it, I'm still old school with email. You can find me at chris@vangarrettmedia.com. I am on all the socials, of course. I've unified all my social media to one user ID. It's @FantasticAccent because honestly, what better for me? So I heard Brian Williams one night use that term, the British and their fantastic accents. I'm like, that is the perfect social media handle. I love it. I want it, and I wouldn't claim it on everything. It's mine. So yes, @FantasticAccent is going to be the best way to find me.
Okay, awesome. And tell me, I always like to try to find out what is your favorite song, your favorite quote, or both.
I can give you both.
All right, awesome.
In the 90s, there was a band that was started by a gentleman out of Ireland named Ronan Harris. He started a band called V&V Nation, and he did it as a way to cope with the loss of a loved one. V&V stands for victory, not vengeance. And the motto of the band is, it is better to achieve than to sit in bitter regret, right? He does a song called Space and Time that was released in 2011 off of the Automatic album. It's just wonderful. And if you want, I can even give it to you. You can post it in the show notes so people can watch it after this. It came about at a time in my life when I absolutely needed to be reminded that I was enough and I was going to be okay. And I get a little emotional thinking about it right now. It's so important. There's that. And then my favorite quote, Dr. Gonzo, one of my idols, Mr. Hunter S. Thompson. Life should not be a journey to the grave with the intention of arriving safely in a pretty and well-preserved body, but rather to skid in broadside in a cloud of smoke, thoroughly used up, totally worn out, and loudly proclaiming, wow, what a ride.
I love it. Yep, definitely familiar with that one. That's great.
Yeah, I bet you are.
Well, I think that personalities like us are all about just trying and risking but calculated risks,
Mhm.
but just doing the thing. And
Yeah.
if the thing doesn't work, no problem, recalibrate, do something new. And if it does work, cool, we continue on. But I think the big thing is when something does work, to stay humble about it, because that thing that's working may continue to work for a while, but it might also break down and die.
Absolutely, 100%. And don't be afraid to be ridiculous, right? I mean, don't be afraid to do something that goes against your typical culture because you feel it's a good idea. Like, just don't be afraid of that. Who knows? You might actually be the one that sets the trend.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Wow, this is awesome. I knew it would be. Chris, I sincerely appreciate you dedicating some time to be with me on this Always a Journey TV today.
I sincerely appreciate you, Mr. Woodland. You are you are my North Star. There are people in my life that I look to, and I think, when I grow up, I want to have just a little piece of them as a part of me, and you are one of those people. So thank you. I owe you a lot.
I sincerely appreciate that. That was very, very nice of you.
Absolutely, sir.
All right, brother. I'm going to put you in the green room for just a few moments, if you don't mind, and then I'll wrap up the show.
Cool. Sounds good.
Thank you so much. So there you have it, my friends. Chris VanGarrett with VanGarrett Media. These guys are absolutely amazing. Definitely check them out. They've got an entire suite of amazing services. But the thing is, when you get to learn about who these guys are, they are absolutely just salt of the earth. You're going to absolutely love them. So reach out to them. And even if you don't need their services, hit them up on social media and just become friends. These guys are great. And please feel free to subscribe to the channel. Throw us a thumbs up. Give us a comment if you've got any questions. Chris and I will definitely jump into the comments and answer those questions as quickly as possible. And follow them on social media at VanGarrett Media. And check out Peppercini's over in Murray, Utah. These guys are great. You'll really enjoy them. So anyway, thank you so much for joining the show and the interview today. And I wish you all a wonderful rest of your week. Take care.